All right. We got a super chat sponsor. All right. Thank you, Malt Maltlicky, Texas. Good to have you. And you'd like to look at Lululemon. Let's do it. And I spent my summer in Texas in San Antonio and visited San Antonio was cool. Nice people. Visited Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston. Was really impressed with Houston. Really clean city, nice people. Went to a ball game. Really good trip to Texas, and I spent 11 weeks there, so got to know Texas. All right, so let's talk about Lululemon. I am a fan of yoga, but I do not wear any Lululemon apparel. These guys have really been sold off over the 5-year, 42%. And this, I mean, if you went back 15 years ago, these guys were just growing like crazy, but they have gone from a $511 price, stock price down to 169 since the end of 2023. So the last 2 years have been kind of miserable for investors who have lost a lot of their investment. It's relatively a small cap, revenue of 10.9 billion. PE looks really low at 11.5. Forward PE is 13.79. Analysts think it's discounted. Now, a company like this, revenue growth is really, really vital. Now, let's take a look at the quarterly. They announced their earnings so September 4th, so 2 weeks ago. And so this is their fresh earnings, 6.5% growth. They have been slowing down on the growth rate. Now, some of that is because the number keeps getting bigger, so that's understandable. Their Q4 looks like their last Q4 was very good around. That does include the Christmas season, so that makes sense. So this is pretty decent growth, very decent. It's trending down on the growth rate, but that's expected if your number keeps getting bigger. Profit is pretty good for an apparel company. It's actually impressive. Almost 60% gross margin. Profit margin is 16%. Free cash flow 10.7. The forecast, we got 23 analysts covering it, and some analysts are really high on the stock. And the worst case scenario isn't too bad. $160 price target. So we're not far from that price target. The company is going to keep growing, okay? And their profits are going to keep growing. So it looks good. And their PE is going to keep dropping. So this company's looking good. You know, from a business perspective, I think their brand is like they're the leader in the whole yoga apparel. And as I'm sure we know, everybody knows, is outside of yoga, people really enjoy the apparel because it's very comfortable. Got it. Especially to wear around the house. It's like, you know, apparel. I feel most comfortable watching football games in my gym shorts and a t-shirt, but I wouldn't go, you know, to the movies wearing that. All right, so let's take a look at the valuation. And I'm showing that Lululemon is discounted by 26%. All that makes sense to me. This is a well-known brand. They are going to continue to drive a good price. I think they have pricing power because people want Lululemon, the brand itself, right? I mean, branding is so important in apparel. You know, like I don't own any, but like brands like Gucci or, you know, you name that premium brand, they charge like $5,000 for a purse or $1,800 for a purse. And you could go find a purse of equal function for $30. So it's like, whoa, that brand really makes a difference, right? And the brand around Lululemon is still, I think, really positive with ladies. I talked to my wife about Lululemon and Lululemon stock. She kind of gives me her point of view, and I think she has a very positive, feeling about the brand. So this is a stock. Now, what kind of investment is this? If you're feeling like this stock's going to revert back to where it has traded in the past, it's a very well-known commodity. They don't pay a dividend. But let's say this thing's going to revert back to $300 a share. You almost doubled your money. And 300 wouldn't be all that high. So this would be a logical bet for somebody who, just felt like, hey, I don't own an apparel stock. This wouldn't be a bad, risk to take. I think the stock's gotten to its lowest point. Fundamentals support a higher stock price. They are growing their business. It's not like, hey, they're contracting on their revenues. No, it's not the case. It's actually expanding quite nicely. So Lululemon, I think, I thought about buying Lululemon. Didn't pull the trigger. I don't know that I want to pull the trigger just yet. But I look at the fundamentals and think I don't own any apparel stocks. I don't know that I want to own a whole lot of apparel, frankly. But if I wanted to buy an apparel stock, this might be one of them. So those are my thoughts on Lululemon. What do you think, Daryl?
Let me look at some charts here. So we were asked to look at Wendy's last night.
Yeah.
If I took the name Lulu off this one, you'd think we were looking at Wendy's. So they're trading at 160, and that's almost their COVID low. So that looks identical to the chart we had last night for Wendy's. So let me go. This is a 10-year chart. They did have some phenomenal growth over that period, but they are not looking very good at the moment. So let's step out to 1 year. I'll add similar trend lines to what we were looking at earlier on another stock. So we have this trend line here. This longer term trend, the price would have to get to about 267 before it breaks out of that downtrend. If we look at a shorter term trend, it's going to have to break out somewhere about 183. And I'll tell you what my philosophy is on these. I'd rather pay $234 for it when the price is going up than I would $160 when the price is going down. That's generally the way I look at it. I'd rather pay a higher price when the stock is already in an upward movement. So right now it is not in that configuration. It is in a downward decline and hasn't shown any sign of breaking either the short-term downtrend or longer-term downtrend.
Okay, here's my question. So a stock can't go past zero. We would agree on that, right? The zero is like the lower limit. So this stock went from 500 to 160. And it's basically the charts that I'm seeing is what's going to go to zero. Well, that's just irrational. It's not going to go to zero. At some point, this thing's going to attract guys like Michael Burry. They're like, oh, Lululemon's too cheap. The brand's too good. And they buy. So I respect that you don't want to buy when a stock is on a downtrend, which I've heard from other like successful investors. Totally get it. But there's a little part of me that loves picking up stocks when everybody hates it, everybody ignores it. It gets taken out with the garbage, and you go sift through the garbage and you go, whoa, hey, look at here. I just found a Rolex watch and it's real. Hey, I'm going to go sell it. And you're like, wow, somebody put a Rolex watch in the garbage. maybe they did it accidentally, but here we go. I just made, very good return. So I think I guess it's not a question. It's more of a, different fireworks go off in my mind when I see a stock chart like that. I'm like, man, it just keeps getting better. I mean, the market keeps lowering Lululemon's stock price. I love it when the market is irrational and gives me these fantastic discounts. So maybe if it goes down another few percentage points, I might jump in there. Right now, Lululemon is flat. It's not going up or down. But anyway, I'll just state that hey, maybe, and it's okay for us to be different, right? We should be
Yep,
different.
exactly.
And I'll just put it out there that, different fireworks go off in my head when you show
Yep.
a chart like that.
So what I did was I went to weekly data, and I'm going back to before the company even started. So they started in 2007. So I could actually draw this trend line probably all the way back to there if I wanted to. But I'm respectful of these long-term trend channels. So what I've done is I drew a line connecting as many lows as I can, make a copy, drag it up, and connect as many tops. So this is 20 years worth of data. And you can see that it stayed in that trend line or trend channel until May of this year. And when they start falling out of a 20-year trend channel like that, it's just not for me. It's not one that I want to step into until it starts showing some recovery.
Yeah, very good analysis.
So I can show you one exactly like this. Let me go to analysis, and because I did this 2-3 years ago for some Nike investors who
Whoa.
were pushing Nike so much, and you can see that it fell out of a 15 or 20-year trend channel, and it has not recovered, and it is in this is weekly data, so we're looking at a 200-week 5-year trend line. It is going to take months to turn that trend line around. So yeah, I'm not arguing that it's a great value, but when I look at 25 years worth of data, I'm not going to step in.
Yeah, very good analysis. Thanks for sharing that. So Malt Licky, Texas, thank you for the super chat. Hopefully you found the analysis interesting. Thank you. All right. So we've got a couple of new comments. And for algorithm.
Here's one on Costco.
Uh-huh.
This is a 15-year, 20-year trend channel. And you can see that it's still in that trend channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Costco reports Thursday.
Yep.
Next week.